This is Real Talk with Brendan Bartic, where we'll be talking about the latest real estate strategies, scripts, top producing techniques, and everything you're going to want to know about how to be an elite real estate agent or real estate coach, or just a great business person.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Anna Mekeel. I am one of the co-founders of Brendan Bartic Coaching, along with several other incredible business partners. When we originally built this company and founded it, we wanted to deliver the most exceptional real estate coaching and training on earth. So I am honored to be here. I'm honored to be your co-host today. And as we settle in, just a quick reminder, this session is being recorded and will be available for replay. So you can head on over to the Brendan Bartic Coaching YouTube page, subscribe there. You can find this video along with hundreds of others. If you're more of a podcast kind of person, you can also tune into the Real Talk with Brendan Bartic podcast on your favorite listening platform and check us out there as well. So before we get into the details, I want to first thank my colleague, a dear friend, and our production assistant, Lindsay Carter. Lindsay, give the people a wave, say hi. She's going to be working tirelessly in the background, delivering resources throughout the conversation that kind of pertain to the presentation. Now, if you're driving or multitasking, we actually had a couple of people reach out and go, I can't make the live session. If you miss the resources and the downloads, don't worry about it. We will send you an email with all of the information included in this session, or you can email us at info@brendanbartic.com and we'll get you everything you need. Today, we're actually going to shake things up. Brendan was very kind to agree to be in the hot seat today and answer all of our questions on how we can tap into our untapped potential, our hidden potential, and take our business and our life from where it is today to where we want it to be tomorrow. We're going to do that through embracing the suck. So that title is no joke, tapping into hidden potential, embracing the suck. So Brendan, are you ready to go?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. Thank you, Anna. This is probably one of my favorite subjects. Really the fundamental way that I've seen not only myself have success, but I model, AKA steal the best techniques from other people and then just try to put them in practice. And for doing this now going on, 20 plus years, we've learned a lot along the way. And I wish somebody would have shared a lot of this with me early on because it would have made all that much easier. So hopefully today it's going to be all about streamlining this so you can do more, enjoy what you're doing, and make more money, have more fun. And that's what we're here to do.
I want to provide some framework for everyone, especially those who are joining us for the first time. Maybe this is the first webinar you've caught with Brendan Bartic Coaching. So Brendan, you're a seasoned pro in the real estate industry. You've helped to serve thousands of families in the greater Denver metro area. You rank in the top 1% of Keller Williams International. You own several businesses. You're a real estate coach. You're highly involved in charity. Is there anything you don't do?
No, that's kind. But again, all of that they were stepping stones. Each one led to another. And that's what I want to talk a lot about today is as we start to explain how simple this process can be, it all comes down to the number one word that I hope you write down today that you have to think about all the time, which is decide. And I have that word on my whiteboard in front of me. I have that word kind of tattooed in my brain where every single day I have to decide on what kind of life I want to live, what kind of schedule I want to run, what kind of calendar I want to have, what kind of problems I want to solve. I always tell people you get paid at the level of problems you solve. And some people solve very low level problems, AKA the person at the drive-through window, and other people solve higher end problems, AKA luxury real estate agents at times, or people that are carrying 10, 17, 20 listings at a time. They're solving higher level problems and therefore they make a lot more money because of it. So that word that I want you to think about is decide as we go through some of these strategies. You can decide not to do them. You can decide to do them. It's your choice. It's going to depend on how you live this life.
And really a lot of this comes down to the team, right? You've got an incredible team that surrounds you. And so let's just talk about them really quickly. The organization, you and I talk all the time, we collaborate, but rarely do we get to talk about some of these big pieces that I think are fundamental as far as the organization and who you are today and where the organization is going. So recently, best place to work, according to the Denver Business Journal in 2022, that's a huge thing. What do you think attributed to that kind of success in that nomination?
Number one is, of course, culture. I mean, I know that word's played around with quite a bit, but what I decided to do is build a leadership team around me. And that leadership team then breathed the right culture into the organization. Gary Keller and other great leaders that I've been around, it makes it very simple. You probably all have heard this your entire life. You are solely, and I do mean solely, determined in your success by the 5 people, what I call my 5 empire builders that you surround yourself with. And Gary Keller would always say, my 5, the reason I sell a bajillion homes and you sell X amount of homes is my 5 is better than your 5. Mm-hmm. And that really stuck with me. And he was like, my 5 is better than your 5. So right now you might be going like I was years ago. I go, I don't even have 1. Like it's just me. And then I had an amazing executive assistant. So then I was like, cool, now I've got 2. And then you start to build on it. Now we have director of sales, director of marketing, amazing, Anna's coaching partners, all these people that are surrounded around it, but it's constantly looking at that 5 and going, and that 5 might even be your significant other. You may need to upgrade or downgrade them, right? That might have to be a decision that you need to make to get to where you need to go, because that's usually your first one of your 5, right? Then you just go, I've got to get to this next 4. So you think about that, but that's all that separates huge businesses and huge lives from mom and pop shops. And there's nothing wrong with the mom and pop shop if that's what your Everest is, right? If you know what we're going to talk a lot about today is 99% of this, and the reason I see people get stuck or not have the success they want is they don't know where Everest is. And what I mean by Everest is the top of their mountain. And that mountain can change, but you have to first set the mountain right now. So that mountain right now, for some of you might be to sell 12 homes a year, right? Because some might be new on here. Some of you, your mountain might be to donate $1 million to charity. Some your mountain might be, it depends on what your mountain is, but you have to clearly define that mountain, and then we have to back out a path to get there, because without that, I could teach you all these strategies today. If you don't wake up with passion and purpose and a reason to get out of bed to do it, because there's nothing that you're going towards, money's not going to be it. I can tell you that, right? Money will not be it. If you go, you know what I really want to do is have $100,000 in my bank account. Awesome. That will motivate you a little bit, I guess. But the real question is why do you want that $100,000 in your bank account? What does that change in your life? Who does that serve? Who does that help? What does that do? And then once you can tap into that, then we can really start building a calendar around it, which we're going to talk about a little bit today, to make sure that you're clear. This is how I get there.
That's exactly right. So you talk about Everest. So you know this number probably off the top of your head better than I do. How many active agents are currently on the Bartic group?
Active agents, 53.
53. Okay. And the organization is on track to serve 285, 300 families by the end of 2022?
Yeah, we're gonna do about 170 million in volume this year. The numbers are exciting and all of that. What I care about more so than that is our goal is each one of our agent partners, like one of my Everest is that we have X amount of people on our team making X amount of money. And then the number that we talk about all the time, Anna, is passive. So I want everybody to write down these 4 questions, because these are my 4 favorite questions that have changed my universe and that I have to think about all the time. So question number 1, what is my ideal job description? Question number 2, what is my exit strategy? So talking about that Everest, how will I know that I'm done when I got there? What's my exit strategy? Question number 3, how much passive income do I need on a monthly basis to make number 1 and 2 a reality? And then number 4, what is the model or system I'm following or attached to get there? To answer that question, right, to kind of go back to this is we have to make sure that we're living. Right now, if any of us say our ideal job description is doing open houses, I don't know, right? Is that my ideal job description? But it's a stepping stone maybe to get there. If my mindset is right, I'm going, my ideal job description is to build this great real estate business and have a large amount of success. Doing a great open house might be a part of it to get there. But if your ideal job description is to be a karaoke singer, and you go, look, that's my job, I would love to be a karaoke singer, you're still going to need a certain amount of passive income and an exit strategy to get there. So that's what we got to start thinking about is all of this comes down to, can we help with the team build, not only the team, anyone that I talk to, how can we build that passive income, that mailbox money on a regular basis so you get to go be the true weirdo that you want to be, right? I want to go be as weird as I want and do the things I want, but I have to do these other things to get the necessities of life taken care of first.
I think the other thing you mentioned, and I know this is a goal, and I think it's worth kind of bringing to light for everyone, is $1 million contributed to charity, not only this year, but every year moving forward. I know that's one of your goals. Why is that so important to you?
Well, for me, because I came through the social service system. So I wasn't able to be with my family. They had some issues then. So I was removed from my house when I was 11. So going through the social service system and emancipating at 17, the foundation that I'm now the president of the board of directors of, the Third Way Center, they helped. If it wasn't for them, I would have been screwed. I mean, so there's so many. So my passion is to hopefully pay it back to where I can help other kids that got the raw deal and make sure that they don't end up in prison, which is the path that I was on. If Third Way Center wouldn't have helped me, and great donors help them support that program.
Yeah, that's incredibly inspiring. So if people want to learn more about Third Way Center, is there any way anyone can be involved if this really kind of speaks to them?
Yeah, there's a young professional board. We can post that in there. All the information's there. We have tons of events that you can come to. And if you Facebook friend me, you'll see it all the time.
That's awesome. So, all right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of today.
Let's get these strategies going.
Let's go. Let's get tactical. So we all know that Rome wasn't built in a day, right? You didn't just wake up, snap your fingers, and all this happened. There was a mindset you had to have. There were some strategies you had to build into not only your life, but your business. So let's just start with the obvious question. Embrace the suck. What does it mean? Where does it come from? Why is that the name of this class?
Yeah, well, it's a simple military jargon that, again, and I was in the military. I was 3-7 infantry, served in Iraq, with Kuwait, all over the place. That's not where I learned discipline. Everyone goes, oh, he was in the military, so they must have met. No, there's a lot of scumbags in the military. Let me just be quite honest, right? The military didn't teach me discipline. What the military taught me is schedule and routine, right? You might have heard that phrase, we get more done before 8 a.m. than most people do all day. And that's the one thing that really started to see that I could see the production on is all the military does is it's very routine and regimented, and they have what's called a cadence. And write that word down, cadence, because that's a very important word that you need to think about. Cadence is a rhythm of success. In my world, I think about it as a rhythm of success. Left, righto. It's this, once you get into this rhythm, that rhythm does your cadence produce the results that you're looking for. Some of us have a $50,000 cadence. Some of us have a $5 million cadence. That's the only thing that separates everyone. I wasn't born with more work ethic in fact, I'm the first person to be like, can I figure out how to do this with less work? Like, that's what I'm trying to do all the time. I'm like, work sucks, want to go do all fun stuff. How can I get this done as intelligently as possible and then put leverage into place so that I'm not sitting there digging that ditch myself? Right. And even in the Army, they're always like, how is he always getting us to fill the sandbags and he's sitting over there not filling the sandbags? And I was like, leverage, right? Leverage. I had to think those things through. So that's what we're trying to think about is first, you have to create the plan. You have to understand the routine. And then all we have to do is put the right leverage pieces in place. The rest falls. It just goes left, right, or left.
Yeah. So where a lot of people kind of, I don't want to say fall down, but they get in their head about it is going, I have to be a particular person to achieve it. So let's jump into this first strategy. When we want to take where we're at today and take it to the next level, Brennan, what's kind of the number one strategy that you would say was fundamental to you having the success that you've had?
Well, I think looking at this, it's this what we were just talking about. You have to first, no matter what, master the morning. We hear this all the time. What's your morning routine? What do you do? How do I get out of bed? Blah, 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 blah. For me, I'm simple. I like a schedule and I like to make it very simple. So over time, we started to develop what we call mastery, mastery. And with that morning mastery routine, it gave me the ability to build in 1 hour I call it the energy booster that I needed to get every morning going the way it needed to be. And after studying top performers and studying all these people, I learned that number one, and I'm not going to beat this into anybody's head, If you wake up earlier, you're going to make more money. Every stat's there. Everything on earth is there. And then here's what I hear all the time. I'm just not a morning person, Anna. It's just not who I am. You think I'm a morning person? Most of the time I'm partying until 1 a.m. with friends. I'm having a blast. People that know me, I like to have a good time. I love having a good time. I just know though, if I don't, I look at this as I get to do this program, not I have to do this program. And some people go, I have to wake up. I go, I get to wake up and do this. I get to wake up and have 10 minutes of meditation and center my mind around the things that matter the most, or clear my mind, first of all, and then center my mind so I can open it up to the things that matter most. The cheesiest thing on earth next is affirmations. And people that know me, I am a huge self-development buff, and I love affirmations. I recite them every single day. I basically brainwash myself every single morning for the outcome that I want, right? Like that's 99% of this. If you believe it, it's going to come to reality if you also apply the remainder of the schedule to go after it. So affirmations are critical.
So on affirmations, let's pull back the curtain. Give us 1 to 2 of your favorite affirmations or the things that you like clockwork tell yourself in the morning.
Well, now it's different now. So when I was selling, every single day, being in the full-time listing game, it would be, I'm going to sign 2 great listing clients today. They're going to laugh at all my jokes and they're going to love my level of service. Right? Like that would be it. Almost every single day. And then before I was getting to that point of having 2 appointments a day, it was, I'm going to set 3 listing appointments today. It was always about the action that I wanted to accomplish. And it's always, I'm going to, not I want to, I hope to. It was always telling myself, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. And to the point of nauseam, to the point where I felt kind of like a cheeseball myself. I was like, you're that dude talking to yourself in the mirror. Like that's who you really ended up becoming. That's cool. Yeah. But it works. It works. Our mind will do what it's told to do every single day. If you go, oh, I'm going to go get hung up on a bunch today and it's going to blow and I got to go sit through these calls because someone told me if I hit 20 contacts a day, I'm going to make money. It's got, it's just, you're going to get punched in the face, right? You're going to get punched in the face. So, and Anna, here's the other thing that me and you've talked about it at at length is we're not perfect either. There's weeks that go, sometimes we get into a slump week where I'm like, man, you got kicked in the teeth every which way. You thought this was going to go, this deal fell apart. This person you thought was going to do this doesn't show up. Your significant other, whatever, all of those life things hit you and you're just going, it is hard. Don't think for a second it's not hard to be like, okay, I have to talk my brain out of this. But the nice part is every morning you get to hit the reset button.
Absolutely. And here's a trick that I found, because if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I'm 100% a self-proclaimed not morning person. But I also had to, again, just like you said, Brennan, I was telling myself what was happening in reality. It was hard to get up because I was reaffirming that out loud to myself and others. And it's a skill like any other. So let's take it out of the morning context. It's like when you get a compliment on being a good presenter or good at public speaking, as if you're some sort of magical unicorn that just like being a morning person or just like being a presenter, you're just lucky. No, it's a skill. Go back to our YouTube channel and scroll all the way down to some of our first content, how far we've come because we made a decision. We chipped away at it every single day. And it's no different than the morning routine. So if I fall off, I never let myself go more than 2 days without getting back on, because I know I can manage 2 days of messing up. I at least try and on the 3rd day, start to implement, maybe not all 60 minutes, maybe it's only 20. And then the next day is 30 minutes, then it's 40, 50. And within a week, I'm back on track.
Well, and that's why it matters who you're around.
Yeah.
You get around that negative Nancy or that terrible person around you, and they're just going, yeah, you don't need to do it. Could be that one little thing that sets this whole thing down a spiral. So yeah, protect who you're around. Duh. Number one. Number two is you always get to hit the reset button, which is the most critical thing. So as we go so after affirmations, then we've got scripts, right? So looking at it in the mastery formula, People laugh at me all the time. They go, Brendan, so how did you sell so many houses? And I go, I practice scripts more than anyone else. I go, if this game is about communicating at a high level, each of you write this down. I get paid to talk. Some of you go, I don't need help. I don't need this. I don't need that. Yes, you do, because I've talked to some of you. You are not scripted. You do not sound like someone I want to trust my $50,000 commission with, right? I'm going to sell this house with you. I'm about to pay you $50,000. You do not represent yourself in such a way that I feel confidence, right? Because you're still going, I'm not sure. When I hit you with a question that you don't have a clear understanding of, you just freeze and go, right? So scripts. I read scripts every morning. I still read scripts every single day. I was just on with my team this morning. We have a Thursday throwdown where we practice objection handlers, and hearing some of the best in the business go head to head on this to get better. And they all hate it. It's so uncomfortable. Not they all hate it. None of us like it. It's all uncomfortable, right? Because we're taking that thermostat from 72 degrees and we're cranking the heat up to 85. No one likes to do that. So they go, you know what? I don't need it. I'm good enough. And then I go, how many listings did you take last year? Oh, I like working with buyers. Cool. How many buyers did you close last year? Oh, well, last year I took some time off for the family, so I only did seven buyers. And there's always this blah, 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 BS, right? So scripts. Then the next one, we had to really dial in gratitude. So the T is 2 notes of gratitude. So again, letting the people know in your world that you care about them. 1, it's great for them. And number 2, it trains your brain to realize that your life is pretty freaking good. Like the people around you are pretty awesome. So it automatically triggers your mind to go, today is going to be pretty darn decent, if not great. And then what happens is people love you and they start to reciprocate. It all works. Exercise, you see on here, it says 15 minutes. So my mastery, I do more because I have to, just because I also am a heathen on the other side of my life. So my balance takes more than 15 minutes. So I need an hour of exercise.
That puppy energy.
What's that?
You got that puppy energy.
Yes, exactly. But at minimum, right, whether this is jumping jacks, getting the blood flowing, whatever it is, obviously we have to read. And for me, again, I am not necessarily a hard copy reader. This is listening to a book about improving self-development, whatever it is, whether that's in the shower, whether that's on the treadmill, however that's going to get done. And then the critical one that changed my life, and everyone knows that I'm a YouTube fanatic, is every great teacher, speaker, real estate coach, motivational trainer is on YouTube and I will say free. It's free with ads. It's $9 a month for no ads, right? So it's called YouTube Red. Once you get YouTube Red, think about it. If you're paying $9, however much for Netflix, if you had the best teachers on earth sitting at your disposal, all you had to do is every morning listen to them for just a little bit, would you get better? A lot of what you're going to hear me say today is a regurgitation of someone else that did it way better than me. There's no new content necessarily out there, right? There's no magic formula that's going to change all of these things. It's just, does this work? And then can I adapt maybe not all 5 strategies today, but 2 to 3 to 4 of these strategies? Will I see change? That's all we have to think about, right? So YouTube, check it out. But yeah, try to think about that mastery formula. And here's the thing, Anna, right? We've seen people have success with this at a high level. Take it little by little. Maybe tomorrow you do 2 letters. Then 3 weeks from now, you add a letter. Then 4 weeks from now, you add another letter. Like, it doesn't have to be like, I'm going to knock this all out tomorrow and it's going to change my entire life. If you do that, you're awesome. You're one of the 1%ers, and I hope you do. But don't get overwhelmed in it. Just go, what out of those letters am I missing? And here's the other piece. I don't really know how to meditate, Brendan. I don't either. I bought I have the Calm app. It's the only way I can do it. I'm not cool enough to like get my own Buddha and like sit there and do it myself. I need to be told what to do because I'm a very simple person, right? And it helps me at a high level, right? So I hope that helped, Anna. So strategy number 1, morning mastery. Figure out what your morning mastery. Number 2, not number 2 strategy, but number 1 on still morning mastery is you got to get up earlier. You just have to. I don't care what your excuse is. You just have to figure it out. If you're not the first one at the office, especially if you're not at the level of business you want to be right now, that should be your first goal. Be first. Be that first car in there and have that badge of approval when you walk in and it's creepy in the office and no one's in there and that door opens and you have to actually be the person to turn the coffee on. Or if you drink, I don't drink coffee, but tea or whatever you're doing. Like that sense of pride will change your entire mind. Just be the first there.
So we've got our morning, right? So we've got this strategy to start predicting rather than reacting to our day. What's kind of the next strategy of going, okay, building block, strategy one, what's that next strategy that really kind of propels us forward?
Well, yeah, let's pull it up. So when I think about strategy number 2, and like when we're really looking at this as a high level, right? I always tell everyone, like we just talked about with cadence, your calendar decides whether you make 50 grand a year or $1 million or $5 million a year. So that calendar is everything. It is everything. And I hear people all the time. I make people in our organization, show me your phone. Where's your calendar on your phone? Let me see it. Somebody will be like, oh, I got my calendar all planned out. And then you have the other person who goes, they plan every single block of their calendar to such extent that they feel like they're failing all the time because they're living minute to minute. That doesn't work. So here's the simple, easiest calendar on earth to be successful in anything, right? Number 1, morning mastery. Get your mastery routine down. Number 2, start at the same place, same time, no matter what, every single day. And here's my excuse. I'm going to give you all your excuse. So I always think there's this little devil on my shoulder, and then I've got the angel on my shoulder. And the devil's going, he doesn't understand. I have to take the kids to school. I have crosswalk duty. I've got this jury duty. I've got that. All these duties. I go, great. So you can show up at 9:30 every day? Like there still must be a time at some point that you can show up. If not, you may need to look at how can I reconstruct my schedule? Because if you cannot build that rhythm and that consistency, it's so difficult to build blocks on top of it. You don't know what's working and what's not working, right? Mm-hmm. And I see this, and then people go, well, that's just not how I am. I'm more fluid, right? My wonderful wife being one of them, right? She's like, if you give me a schedule, I'm going to figure out a way to go around it, right? But in a weird way, she actually has a very successful schedule. It's now documented and she has a rhythm to it. It's just different than a traditional schedule. So whatever your rhythm is, it has to work for your lifestyle, but it has to get to consistency. So that's the big piece. Then number 2 is, as we all know this, do what sucks first. And what sucks in our business?
Lead generation.
Lead gen. We all know that. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, right? So if it's my perfect schedule, here's what it looks like. 7:30 a.m. I'm at the office at my work area, wherever you're working from, 7:30 every day, no matter what. I'm doing 15 minutes of role play with a role play partner. I'm doing 15 minutes of reviewing my business plan and my goals. So I know where Everest is and why I'm doing this and why I care about it. From 8 o'clock, and then this is the also thing, you have to create sprints, right? So you're either going to do a 1 hour or 45 minute prospecting session, then take a break, then do another session, take a break. However, you have to gamify it for yourself. Then I'm going to have lead follow-up. Usually at 10:45, I'm going to take a break. 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, I'm taking all of those lead generating efforts, putting them into my CRM and making sure that I generate all my follow-up for the next following day. And then in the afternoon, I'm going on appointments, right? That's the cadence of success. The other thing I want all of you to write down, if you really want to embrace the suck and change your entire life, you never go on an appointment before 12 o'clock, ever. Never, ever. I don't care if it's a hair appointment, doctor appointment, nail appointment, you've got any of these things. As soon as you allow that calendar break to happen, your routine just destroys. It goes away. There is no routine. And once you allow it to happen once, then it happens all the time. But Brendan, you don't understand, my buyers can only see the house tomorrow at 9 o'clock. That's a lie. Brendan, you don't understand, I set a listing appointment at 8 o'clock tomorrow. They can only do 8 o'clock tomorrow. That's a lie. If you understand that your lead generation time is more important than a single listing appointment, and you have to be very clear on that, that'll change your entire life. So just master the morning, master before 12 o'clock. And then after 12, if everything goes to, well, that's okay. You got a good couple of hours of solid work in.
I think people in general, right? We get into these, right? We watch a YouTube, we feel really inspired. We're watching this session. We go, okay, I'm going to do this, right? And I'm going to now organize my day for lead gen, and I'm going to make 50 calls or 150 calls. And we see it in diet culture. We see it in business where people have this spike of tenacity, where they're really going to take the bull by the horns. But then by day 2,